everybody. So, as you can see by the title, this video is going to be some mom tips that I have learned in the course of her 11-month-old life. She might fall asleep in the video. She's about ready for her morning nap, but I figured it would be appropriate for her to be in this video. I'm currently holding back Crowley because he keeps trying to lick me. There's a Crowley. I don't know. Anyways, so the idea of this video was it was going to be, super professional, super laid out and organized. If you're a mom, that's not how mom life works. So just go with it. But anyways, I wanted to come on here and share with you some things that I've learned during this time. Basically, I'm going to talk about 3 categories because, through baby showers and things that you want to buy, you find things that are really good and some of them are that are really gimmicky. So I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the things that I've come across. So, some of these were gifts, some of these things I had purchased, but the 3 categories that I want to talk about, 2 are, things that I loved and things that I thought were a waste of money. And then the third thing I'm going to talk about is advice that I wish I would have taken that was given to me. Because, when you're pregnant or when you have a new baby, everybody and their mother is going to give you advice on what you should do, how you should do this, what they should be doing at this point. So I just kind of want to talk about a few things that I've come across. If anybody has any advice on how to keep a dog out of the way, that would be great. Alright, so first let's start with things that I loved. She's trying to keep herself awake, so we might have to pause this to let her go to sleep. So we'll see. But things that I loved. So, this is take 2, so I have thrown the things further away, so I apologize. Number 1 is this Crowley. I'm going to leave this in here because I just feel like this is appropriate of how my life is. A pacifier leash. She's got one attached to her right now. So basically what this does is this clips onto their clothing and then this kind of loops around their pacifier so it prevents them from throwing it 32 times in an hour, which does happen. We did try the little stuffed animals that the pacifier attaches to, but Crowley's licking my foot. But she didn't seem to really care about it. She just kind of wanted the pacifier and then wanted the stuffed animals separate. She didn't like that they were connected. So these things have been a lifesaver. I highly recommend it. Anything that I recommend, I'm going to put links in the description. Basically, I have become an Amazon affiliate. So if you click on those links and if you find something that you need from that link, I get a little bit of credit at no cost to you. So highly appreciate that. But yeah, recommend this. I'll have a link below for that. The other thing that I love is the sleeper sacks, I think they're called. I call them a potato sack. Potato sack. Potato for short. Hi. Are you getting sleepy? Yeah. So this is her, we put this over her pajamas, but it's just like a little sleeper sack. It was funny because when I first saw these, I was like, those are the most ridiculous looking things. Who would want that? My godmother was like, no, you need that. So she bought me one. So when I used it on her for the first time, it was like a game changer for me. We liked the swaddles, but she would spend most of the night trying to get her arms out. So the fact that this kind of like, not really acts like a swaddle, but kind of keeps their legs kind of covered like a swaddle does, but it allows her to keep her arms free. She was happy. I was happy. As I've learned in the last couple of days, sleep makes me less murdery. So if she sleeps, I sleep. And if this helps, then I like it. So yeah, so that's number 2. The number 3, I'm going to try to show you. I don't know what the exact name of this thing is. I've seen different versions of this. This was given to me as a gift, and I think it's one of the greatest things in the world. So give me 1 second here. It's on her car seat. Okay, so it's like these little curtain things that attach to the car seat. It's more for like if you're bringing your baby out in public and you know you don't really want a bunch of nasty people poking their heads in. You can kind of close them up so that way they're hidden from the world, but yet they can still kind of see. I like it. We don't really take her out in public. What I like about it is when we're in the car, you know, the sun kind of gets in her eyes, and this can kind of act like a curtain. I can put this over her a certain way, and it just kind of shields her from the sun. So I really do like that. I highly recommend getting one of these. Like I said, they have different versions. I'll try to find the one closest to this and put the link in the description. But they have some that are like kind of like a spandexy material that goes over the entire thing. I didn't like those because I want to be able to open this up quickly. For those ones, you have to take them off to be able to get to the baby, and to me that just didn't seem really all that helpful. Okay, so those are the 3 things that I loved. I've had a couple other things, you know, that were helpful, some honorable mentions, I guess I could say, you know, like a bottle warmer. That was really a lifesaver. Definitely the swaddling blankets. I didn't like the actual blankets. First couple of days back home, I didn't feel like trying to figure those things out. It's like I could practice until I was blue in the face, but when it came down to actually trying to swaddle her, it was a nightmare for me. So someone actually gave me ones that had the Velcro on them. Those are amazing. I'll put a link in the description. I wanted to show you hers, but they are packed away, and I was just not going through all that just to show you. So I'll put a link if you want to know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and look that up. So now we're going to talk about things that I think were a waste of money. Like I said, there's a lot of gimmicky things out there, you know, a lot of things that'll say, oh, this will help your baby sleep. I can almost promise you they won't. It's just a matter of scheduling and sticking to a schedule and patience. Lots and lots of patience. You could try different things, but what I recommend is sticking to one thing for a little bit of time, and then if that doesn't work, try something else. But the 3 things that I have come across of that I think were a waste of money, number 1, I'm not going to show it to you because I don't have it anymore, is a wipe warmer. Don't waste your money. If you get one as a gift, great. Just be cautious because the one that I got was a little defective. So the one that I had like this little pad thing inside of it that you would soak that, then put the pads on top of, or not the pads, the wipes on top of, and it would warm it up. Well, you have to keep that pad wet at all times, obviously. But what you don't realize is how quickly it dries up. I was adding water to it daily. Well, there was one day I must have skipped it, and when I went to take it out to get it wet, one of the corners started to burn like it was going to catch on fire. I unplugged that thing immediately and threw it in the trash. But honestly, how warm it made the wipes didn't really matter because by the time you get the wipe out and to the baby, it was cold again. So I only paid $20 for mine, but I know there's more expensive ones. So even if you're someone who's shopping for a mom, there are so many other useful things that you can get that person. Do not get the wipe warmer. Get wipes, but do not get the wipe warmer. Number 2 on my list is this thing. It is like a kind of like a chair situation. bought it before she was able to be in what she's in now. And the idea was to help her sit up better. She maybe used this a total of 4 times, and she fussed about it each time. It doesn't last very long for them because it's so small. So I would definitely recommend doing more research than I did. I'm the type of person where, unfortunately, when I get an idea in my mind, I want to do it now. So I'm making this video so you don't make that same mistake. Some things that I did not like about this. I know, you don't like it. You're not going to go in it. You can't fit in it. You're fine. So, a couple things that I did not like about it is, to me, having them sit in this seemed pretty safe. But, you know, I get it. The manufacturers felt the need to add these little straps. Do you know how hard it is to not only get a child in this thing, but then to strap them in while they're in it in an awkward angle? I did not like it. And like I said, it only lasted her comfortably for about maybe a month before she outgrew it. So I would definitely try to find something similar, but something that they can grow with, because this just was not worth the money. I think I spent like $40 on it, which again isn't much, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like that $40 could have gone to diapers or wipes or something useful. This was not useful. This is a waste of money. A couple other things that I'm going to talk about, with little honorable mentions, are things that I purchased that aren't necessarily bad, but I ended up not using them because global pandemic and all. I had purchased for her car seat an extra base to put in my husband's car, so that way we didn't have to worry about switching out the whole base of the car seat. But we ended up not needing that. We have not used it once. Luckily, it wasn't a complete waste of money because I purchased my car seat stroller combo from Bye Bye Baby, and because of that I had gotten some credit, so the second base was basically free. I think I had to pay like $10 for it, so it wasn't too bad, but it was just something that I ended up not using. And another thing that I would recommend, you know, if you're going to buy a diaper bag for your husband, not for your husband, but for your husband to use for the baby, I recommend just getting something cheap, because diaper bags are expensive as it is, and honestly, I think I could have just used a regular backpack. But if, you know, you feel like your husband needs his own for the baby, I would just recommend getting a cheap backpack or just something, because number one, I almost guarantee you he is not going to use the compartments the way that they're supposed to be used. Number two, most of them are kind of frilly. Are you done? Most of them are kind of frilly for men anyways. So I just kind of got one of these little drawstring bags. He's never used it, but he can use it for other things if he so desires. Trying to think of something else here. So yeah, those are some things that I bought that I didn't think were useful. I can't say that I got too many things that weren't useful from my baby shower. Little. I'm trying to do a video. Okay. So there wasn't too many things that I got that weren't useful. But just to kind of steer clear from those things. However, I know I wasn't going to listen to anybody when they told me, oh, you're never going to use it. So I'm putting it out there. Do with it what you want. Which leads me to some advice. Like I said, once you're pregnant, you're going to get advice from literally everyone that looks at you. People say the weirdest things when you're pregnant. I could go on a whole video on just that. Maybe I'll do that if you're interested. But some things that I wish I would have taken advice from was, number one, don't stress about the nursery. Because chances are you're probably not going to use it as much as you think you are. You know, you see these Pinterest nurseries and you're like, oh, I want it to look so beautiful. I want it to be a nice calming place for the baby. Just do whatever you want, but I would recommend not spending a ton of money on doing it. I am a firm believer of using what I have. So our nursery was kind of like a Mod Podge of different things, different types of furniture. Nothing really matched. But you know what? In the end of the day, she's still living. Nobody died. So it worked for us. You will probably set up a nursery a certain way because it looks nice, but then when you try to actually use it, you're going to end up finding how not user-friendly you made it, and you're going to change it anyways. So don't worry about it. Some other advice that I want to include is your baby will reach its milestones when it is ready. Do not, I repeat, she's about to fall asleep. Do not let anybody make you feel bad because your baby hasn't rolled over yet. He or she will do it when they are ready. I promise you, you are not going to have an 18-year-old rolling down the aisle for graduation. They will figure out how to do what they need to do when they need to do it. If you know me, please understand that it took me a while to get to this point. Basically, she was going to her 3-month appointment, and the doctor, who we no longer go to for other reasons, asked me, the basic questions. Oh, has she done this? Has she done that? Da, 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 da. She said to me, she's like, is she rolling over? And I said, not yet. She tries, but she hasn't quite got the idea of rolling over completely. The doctor looked at me and she goes, oh, she's a little behind then. First of all, I don't know what makes a good doctor, but I could tell you it wasn't that common. I went home in tears because I thought I failed as a mother because my baby wasn't rolling over. I was so upset. So my niece, who was helping me watch with the babysitting and whatnot while I worked, I told her, I said, okay, we've got to get her to roll over. She's behind. We need to work on this. Get her to roll over. She didn't really try anything unusual. She put her down. That kid, the next day, rolled over like a pro. I was like, you couldn't have done that a day sooner? But no. She did it on her own time. She is not behind. So when it comes to certain milestones, try not to stress about it. You're as long as you're taking care of your baby the best way that you know how, they're fed and they're not, looking like they're abused, try not to worry about it. And that kind of goes along with don't compare your baby. Do not compare your baby to other babies that are in similar age groups. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. It's nap time, so she's taking a nap now. But I was saying, do not compare your baby to other babies in a similar age range. Again, they're going to do what they're going to do when they want to. So you might have, coworker, friend, family member, whatever, and like, oh, my baby's doing this right now. And then you're going to feel like, ooh, mine's not doing that yet. Maybe something's wrong with me or my baby. Don't. Because think about it this way. Are you the same as the person next to you? Probably not. I bet you probably know things that other person doesn't. You might have to talk a while to find out what that is, but I can almost promise you that person might know something that you don't, or vice versa. So think of it like that with babies. They're going to do what they're going to want to do when they want to do it. So don't compare your baby to another baby. Just don't. So the last thing that I want to talk about, was this video has gone on way longer than I thought it was going to, is things that I wish I had. So maybe you will disagree with my little list here, but one thing that I wish I had was an SUV. I was kind of joked, made fun of other moms, when they're like, oh, I need an SUV or a minivan. Like, a car holds a lot of stuff too. Don't really realize how much it doesn't hold until you have a baby. So it's funny because, I just have like a regular 4-door, regular car, nothing fancy. And after I get the car seat in, the diaper bag, and if I decide to bring her walker or her bouncer thing, I usually have her stroller in the trunk. I don't have much room for anything else. So if I want to have a passenger, it's like I have to get really creative on how I put things. So it's like, wow, that's not very many things to be able to fit into a car. So it's like I kind of wish I had an SUV. I wouldn't say minivan. I'm not there yet. But I kind of wish I had an SUV so I could load it better, and like have that space. When we moved into our new house, we wanted to get some furniture and stuff, but of course, with cars, that's kind of a challenge anyways. So we ended up having to bring 2 cars with us to a place just so we could get a rug in or something, just silly things that you don't think about. But when you have baby gear, it's like you almost need a U-Haul. So I wish I had an SUV. Another thing that I wish I had was more of like pre-made formulas. If you're formula feeding, breastfeeding, this is not a debate on that. You do whatever you feel is best. So I did formula. Sure, that might get a lot of hate, but you do you, I do me, okay? But I didn't realize how great the pre-made formulas were. The hospital gave us a bunch, and I was so thankful for that. Because, those first couple of weeks of recovering and everything else, it's kind of the last thing on your mind is worrying about bottles. But obviously you have to feed your baby. So maybe that's where breastfeeding would have come in a little bit differently. But my husband actually was the one that stayed up all night with the baby. Because he wanted me to recover. I know, and he's so sweet. So he was up all night, and obviously breastfeeding wouldn't have worked so great for him because dads can't breastfeed. I don't know if you can hear her in the background, but she's talking again. So yeah, like I said, we got those little pre-made formulas. Hi, Carly. And they were a lifesaver. They are a little expensive. So I would definitely recommend, trying to get some free samples from the hospital if you can. But I definitely would recommend them getting some because, again, lifesaver. There's no guesswork. You open the top, you put a little bottle on there, a little top on there, and you're good to go. The other thing that I wish that I had was a real changing table, one that they could grow into. The one that I had got was like on top of the pack and play thing, which was great, but she outgrew it. She got to the point where she wasn't going to fit in it anymore, or she was rolling around and I didn't feel like it was safe. So what we ended up using is one of those changing pads, and we put it on the floor. Changing a nasty diaper on the floor. Not that changing a nasty diaper anywhere is great, but changing it on the floor is just not ideal. Hi. Can you see a crowded bug? So I would have liked a actual changing table. One of those bigger ones where they can kind of grow into and continue to use as they're older. I didn't feel like at the time it was worth the money because, it's like, the pack and play's got a changing table. So that's another little piece of advice that I want to give you. Whenever you're buying, especially the big purchase items, like the car seats or the strollers or toys or anything. Make sure you get something that, you know, can kind of grow with them for a little bit. Getting anything that's 0 to 3 months, almost a waste of money, because it's like 3 months is going to go by a lot quicker than you think. And yeah, just that's my advice. So yeah, so that's my mom tip video that I decided to do because I'm an expert mom now. You believe that one. So yeah, so if you have any other suggestions, other tips that, you know, someone might benefit from, put them down in the comments. Do you think I need to do a part 2 to this video? What would you like to hear? I apologize if this was kind of a boring video for some of you. I do appreciate you coming to watch it though. Again, subscribe, like the video, comment down below, share it with your friends. I might have something in my other videos that might benefit someone else. You just never know what you're going to find on random reads. So yeah, so I hope everyone has a great day. I've got a lot to do, so I'm going to go get that done. Bye.